as a commentator, I'm not as sold. This matchup versus TA is actually one I know pretty well. I've played both ends of it. I've watched teammates play both ends of it. If the Jakiro gets ahead, the TA has serious troubles. But if you catch a couple of side blades, it's a lot like the matchup against like Viper or Veno, where Viper is more realistic, where you can crush Jakiro if you're able to stay ahead of the lane. You get the Blightstone early, and you just do so much damage with the side blades. Yeah,
Kevin was saying something very, very similar on the panel, where he's just like, you know, you're just going to get out last hitted. You're not going to be able to actually stand inside the lane. So I want to see the influences that can rotate around in the lanes. And maybe that's when we have to start looking at who is actually the supports. Yeah, we kind of knew one hero for compLexity, which is Miracle's Morphling. He's going to want to play that one. But got 3-4-3 harassing as the Undying. And that puts Z-Freak on the Shaman. So Death is the third core.
Yeah, this is... I had actually a talk with them yesterday, and they...
That's why they did this, Kyle. What have you done?
I disagree with the way compLexity is playing this offlane, and they have a different idea of how to play the offlane. I'm of the opinion, if you look at Z-Freak's roster, he should have boots, and he should be playing to spam Q, pull creep waves, generally be annoying, look to connect middle. But you look at the regen, look at all the regen, not just the Mangos, but Death has 9 tangos and a salve. Z-Freak has 6 tangos. Why do we need so much regen against Lion Ursa? This is a kill lane. They're not looking to harass you. It doesn't matter if you have a tango running. If Ursa has 5 or 6 stacks on you, you're still not in the lane. You know what I mean? It's just, I feel like they what's the word? They overinvest in like trying to stay strong in lanes instead of just, you know.
Oh God, if they actually die, Death's got his Sandstorm on cooldown. Crystallize just needs a little bit more time to get closer. One more swipe, no, that won't be enough. And he'll salve up and run away. So at least that regen goes to work, but the stun will cancel the salve, so it won't be a full duration salve.
Yeah, I just think move speed's so nice. They could even have not double boots, but you get, yeah, we'll see. Top lane, Na'Vi did what I think is just the way to off lane, where you have Undying, very strong laner, and you don't care because Misha just pulls the second wave behind tower, and you're now trading in the lane. It's so simple. It's one of those things where it's all about EV, right? Where, yeah, you could try and lane, but isn't it simpler to just, like, not lane? You can't lose.
Just pull it between the towers. Like, I feel very, very safe where I am, and then, like, Z-Freak doesn't want to stand in the lane either on bottom. Like, you had a split up where Death was pulling up to the side camp, but then Crystallize just find a free farm as well.
So, I mean, it's just dangerous. But, hey.
Things are still unraveling. Watching Limp as well, Magical. And Limp really hitting hard. In fact, he's trying to Sideblade bring down Limp.
And this right here is the problem with the Jakiro versus TA matchup. You just tank too many Sideblades. Your damage is simple to play around, right? It's spell-based. So as a TA, it's very easy to manage your HP. As Jakiro, as you can see, these Sideblades, they're hitting for 150 pure damage almost. Like, it's so much damage. And bottom lane, Z-Freak goes down.
That's a little deep, trying to protect the SK.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Actually thinking that the Death would have happened up on top lane, considering Miracle is just
man, look at mid. Pressured. Look at mid. If Z-Freak was able to rotate, he's going to do it now. But like, imagine if he shows up here like earlier. Like, TA has been playing aggro on Limp's Hill at all times, and then that's how you have to play to win this matchup. Even up top, you know, the Brewmaster of Blizzy's been diving tower, and we're going to see some rotations come out, but now lane control is not in Limp's favor, and Magical has just salved. They're going to go for him anyway. Will there be a TP rotation is the question.
He's going to hold him. Here's your TP.
1 point in Q?
Coming in for Lion, and yeah, it's 2 points Liquid Fire, 1 point up in the dual breath. Like, you're this close to the tower, you may as well throw it out there too. It's not meant to be an interaction with Refraction, right? Like, is there a value to getting the second point up in Liquid Fire apart from having that 5-second cooldown reduction? Magical may still die if Z-Freak can get, like, the shock. Blizzy can back off in mid, and Magical just moves back, salves up once more. He's spending a lot of consumables to stay in this mid lane, but it doesn't really matter when he's able to keep Jakiro down.
Yeah, you see Misha just continuing to pull this off lane, even though the Morph is a dominant laner, and he will be able to shut down Blizzy. If you can continue to do this, you'll kind of trade next XP. You might miss more last hits. You see up here, though, Misha's in some trouble. Probably going to get gripped in this creep wave by Z-Freak in just a sec.
Yeah, they need a little bit more help, though. Do they have enough damage with the creep wave? Yeah, it looks like they do. 3-4-3. Consumes the Mango. Misha kind of fly over the top of the hill in time. At the same time, you can say goodbye to Limp. As Magical getting a lot of tips.
God, this was just such also, there were so many other heroes to pick Limp. I just can't fathom what the Jakiro's for. You already, like, you have, like, Paul said it, Red Eye said it. This is not a game I want to play core Jakiro, okay? Do you know how old he is? You know how bad he is at Dota?
You know how much he loves Jakiro as well? Like, emotions should be offsetting his decision making.
DP, SF, there's so many heroes that I feel would have been way more valuable and just provide more for them throughout the mid game. But we'll see. It just, Jakiro, if you don't win your lane, especially against TA, when TA is 6 and the traps start coming down, there's nothing you can do as a Jakiro anymore. And you can see Limp starting to suffer.
God, Chu may be in a little bit of trouble as well. Death, this is a level 4 Sand King. He went 2 points up in the Sandstorm. So the Sun durations won't last long enough. Bounties being split up. 2 apiece. Well, they see their Sand King attacking in the Sentry Ward that was up on top of the hill. That's what allowed them to see Death out of range of the dire Sentry Ward. But with a lot of rotation with Z-Freak as well as Adam coming into that bottom lane, the Ursa is forced to back off. But this now just leaves Limp totally exposed. Dragon on Dragon. And looks like 2 isn't better than 1. Magical with the TA trap. Maybe he's pushing this a little bit far. Doesn't have refraction, but he's got the damage anyway. The dual breath will not kill him, but a very injured TA.
So Death's gonna jungle a bit. He's gonna shrine up, just trying to be efficient. Bottom, they're gonna dive.
All the way under the tower. They don't have enough. There's still 2 supports with a 3-3 level. This seems optimistic at best.
The bright spot for Cole, of course, is that Miracle is free farming, and Morph is one of those great heroes. You can see top lane 112 damage. And when you get a big lead, thanks to the Undying, it's so easy now to just leave Miracle there. He'll totally free farm and out deny.
Fire Strike on the bottom lane. Ursa still got the Enrage. He needs to try and break free. Able to have that done thanks to their 1 point up in Lion's Hex. Canceling Z-Freak Shackles.
God. Also not Death going for a Vanguard rush, it looks like. And again, I do not agree with this decision. I feel like Sand King is one of the best drum spires in Dota. No one else on his team is going to be able to have it. And
yeah, he's okay.
Yeah. Like, phase boots in this game is also very valuable. You're only a 3 armor hero. You're against Ursa TA. Just a big concern is the mid lane, as we've been discussing.
Yeah.
Jakiro's not really a come-from-behind hero. You can see 19 denies already up on Magical.
Nowhere's not getting completely out of control as Miracle looking to actually get aggressive on Blizzy on the top lane. As Blizzy was attacking underneath the tower, but Miracle, how much damage have you got left? He's going to transform himself in, looking for one last attack into Brewmaster, 36 HP, but Blizzy just nicely covered by his Winter Wyvern, able to retreat out, begins his own TP. Miracle's got waveform up if he wants to go underneath this tier 1 tower, and he wants to, but then again, Cold Embrace makes so Miracle has to wait, and then it's going to be Misha turning his damage into Miracle. They look towards the mid lane now. There's 3-4-3 and Z-Free pushing in towards Magical. At the same time, Death dies on bottom lane. Wherever compLexity add pressure, it seems Na'Vi gets something elsewhere.
Yep. In Cole, they feel a bit forced to be rotating their supports around. I actually feel like Undying should have just stayed top a little bit longer. Doesn't feel like he's getting much done, and as you can see, the kill support, specifically choose Lion, it's so easy for him to just teleport in, rotate, find a kill, because TA is so far ahead and does so much more for you. However, this is a ton of damage onto this mid tower, and as we saw in OpenAI, the mid tower is most important.
When you've got the double slows, it's the easiest impel ever. Blizzy just walks up, he'll work with Magical, and this is a dead Jakiro. This was meant to be compLexity getting aggressive, but they lost 3-4-3 after he tried to plant that aggressive Observer Ward next to the tier 2 tower in mid. And then it was just a chase game. Cannot move away when you're underneath so many traps. The slow is just too much.
This is a tough one, Toby. We got a lot of aggro wards up from Cole. Na'Vi playing well. So I may be a little biased in this one. Apologies. Old habits die hard. I'm always going to root for my brother, and I will attempt to discuss the Radiant team a bit more.
Hey, it's fine. Like, I don't think all of your conversations about complexity have been that positive. You're like, you know what, this doesn't seem to work, and this doesn't seem to work, and that also does not seem to work. As Limp comes forward once again, the TA traps burn with the Arctic burn, and Limp just doesn't have movement space. Z-Freak has to create the space by letting the shackles go. This does get Limp up the hill and away. And Magical, he'll put down another TA trap, but won't trigger it. Doesn't have enough duration before he gets a max effect out of it.
Just doesn't... Yeah, bottom lane 3-4-3 is just going to go down. This is not a lane you can stand in as an Undying, and just feel like Cole's concept is off from everything I've been watching as like the game's been evolving a bit more. It's not about these items like Vanguard on your offlaner. When I see Sand Kings dominate games, they're going either like phase drums or they're getting a blink by 10 to 12 minutes.
Yeah.
This Vanguard, like, what does this do? You're still a 5 armor Sand King against Ursa TA. Like, Vanguard does not help you against heroes that are based around doing either increasing physical damage stacks or minus armor. It just conceptually does not make sense.
You know what this feels like, apart from death on bottom lane, which is what Crystallize is looking for? We'll hide inside the Sandstorm. This actually just feels like the old, like, SCA. Like, okay, Miracle, we're going to pick you a big one hero. This is back when Black was a, like, in VG Gaming kind of days. It's like, you know, we'll pick you this one hero, and the other 4 heroes work really well at just adding pressure early on. So we get as much farm in the lanes, and then we'll group up as 4, and this will create space for the Morphling to do his job. Or, back in those days, the Anti-Mage.
Easy dive.
Yep. Limp, perfectly controlled by Blizzy. It's the Brewmaster split committal, but you're fine with this. You're still killing off a mid laner, even though that mid laner is in the bottom 4 net worth.
The key is, Toby, 10-minute wave. So the catapult, it's like such a simple maneuver. A big part of the reason Vici Gaming won that last major was that they would do this every game.
FTP's in. That's at least covered underneath.
No sentry.
Yeah, they had one down, but it was underneath the tower. The Burrow strike forward. Now Magical's the one in trouble. 1 second till he's got his refraction up the shackles. Z-Freak started it, but it didn't look like he got a single point of damage in.
Yeah, they do have a ton of damage coming in top, though, but the teleports are coming out to try and rotate. Chu has ult.
Observer and Sentry. As you said, Finger of Death. It's a pretty quick kill on Undying, who has no points up. And Decay, he's just doing the solo. 3-4-3, won't matter. Welcome to your plus 50, the first Finger buff.
Yeah, nice deny as well. Na'Vi doing a great job rotating around the map. 10-1, 2,000 gold lead. And I feel like they're just playing a far more efficient game and have a superior understanding. Well, they didn't pick Shakira mid. So, game's easier. It's just easier. That's how it's going to be.
But does it stay that easy? Because, like, let's look at Navi's side. What are their strengths and when do they kind of drop off?
Well, they're going to be peaking pretty soon. Your Ursa has drums up with phase already, so he's strong. Ursa is like strongest hero on map at the moment. You can see he is the top of the net worth. TA, it looks like Magical will be going for... it looks like it could be a Blink Rush. You never know with TAs. It could be Blink, could be Deso. But either way, when you have both those items, it's go time. And Navi's going to look to just continue swarming the map, use Brew Split to get towers, and just stay aggressive. Because right now, like, they have just far superior pickoff and team fight.
So maybe that's what we look at to see when Navi's timing really is. Like, we look towards Magical. He's going to have the money for the Blink Dagger right now. So if he wants it, he can grab it. Courier's back at base. And then they could be just over-aggressive. But if they get themselves a half-decent fight and you can slip into Roshan with that Desolator, then it feels like Navi's time is, like, power time is almost extended just because you got that extra life on the TA. But compLexity still want to keep the pressure up. Liquid Fire up the mid lane, bring down this final remaining tier 1 tower.
It's just going to get denied thanks to that Liquid Fire from Limp. So they're going to continue.
Moving over. That's a double TA trap instantly into the Brewmaster, but doesn't be close. And the Curse, it'll hold them there. So Limp and Z-Freak, no way to escape from this one. And Magical will come in looking for the side blade to get the double kill for it. It's already going to go the way of Misha and Magical. And the support has arrived from compLexity. They dropped the Tombstone, but Na'Vi just want to disengage. A Burrow Strike from Death will try and slow up that disengage. They put down the Sentry Wards, so, well, Death isn't hidden here at all. In fact, Crystallize, now he'll join the fight. compLexity thought they had something. The only thing they get is a kill onto Miracle. That's the only thing they get.
Do you know how much gold Vanguard costs, Toby? It's about 100 gold less than a Blink Dagger. What did that item do? It doesn't give you any sort of offensive capability, and it obviously is not going to help you survive. So you've really just removed yourself from the game for some time now. And it's just weird, man. doesn't make sense to me.
Maybe it's meant to be all about like finishing up the Crimson Guard and then just having that 4-man push. Hey, I'm trying to find logic in what is happening at least. Understand the player first.
The thing about Dota is that death is inevitable. You have to accept that you're going to die. You cannot cripple yourself. You can't handicap yourself and prevent your ability. You can't remove your ability to go find kills because you now have no map pressure. Like, if you're just going to be defensive, the other team will kill you eventually, and like they're going to get more farm out of the map because their items actually increase their ability to do damage to creeps, to towers, to heroes.
Maybe just a Game of Thrones fan. What is death may never die.
Oh my God, Toby.
Yeah, that's right. I blame Purge for starting with the 3 dragons this morning.
That's worse than the theory I read about the Night King being secretly the Mad King.
It's just, that is actually so damn stupid.
That is the dumbest. Anyway, so they're going to push bottom.
We've had those debates.
Yeah.
Yeah, no spoilers here. No spoilers at all.
Yeah, but just the real thing that compLexity is missing right now is a natural playmaker. And that could be the Sand King, it could be the Rasta, but just based on how this game is going, it's not happening. And little things like even Z-Freak going for Tranquils, when I see every other Rasta go Arcanes into Aether Lens and or rush Blink after Arcanes. It's just strange to me. And I think Navi's doing a good job, like Blizzy specifically. He's using his split off cooldown to find action, and I love this decision as well. If you look at his item build, he's going to be rushing Spirit Vessel. You recognize that Morph is the real win condition for compLexity. Miracle is having a great game.
Yeah.
You just have to ensure that you address his hero.
They're going to address it perfectly too, because they're getting the double Blink daggers up and running. So
yep.
Yeah, you can get your Spirit Vessel, but the Blink Dagger comes first onto Blizzy. They've given so much space to chew on top lane that with the Blink Dagger Lion, they get that initial jump. They make it so compLexity can't be confident enough just to walk as a 4 or 5-man team up into the high ground because there are pick-off conditions.
I'm really looking, so right now, it looks like Death is going to run to the side shop to buy his Blink. I believe that's the play. The concern is that Chu, as you can see, yeah, he's 30 gold away. So you're going to have initiation, even though it's the 4 versus the 3, is going to be up at the exact same moment here. And compLexity might want to look to make a play, but your other problem is, of course, Limp. And like, again, it's Arcanes, like 16 minutes, he's about to buy Arcanes. This is not going to assist him. We need some raw stats, like some utility, an 8 or some heals, a 4, something that...
It feels like he is trying to be like that fighter role, like that early utility item onto a mid. You're able to pick up your mech, and once again, like it's that combination. You get Crimson, you get mech, you get compLexity with this unstoppable team fight power, and they can just force down lanes. Liquid Fire at level 4 plus the Mass Open Wars do let you push buildings very, very quickly, and that will allow you to break the high ground of Na'Vi, maybe before they're ready, but it does feel like Na'Vi's in a good, ready position.
Oh yeah, they're about to finish the Blink on TA. It's coming out on the courier right now.
So he's got Blink and Desolator on TA.
Yeah, this is scary. And
if it arrives in time, like, they're actually going for their own smoke here in a second, Na'Vi, but compLexity came in with their own smoke.
They need to try and bait Limp. The problem is I think Limp might just actually explode.
The Blinks arrived.
compLexity doesn't have the ability to bait. Oh,
the smoke instantly broken.
Really careful if you're Cole here. You don't have Miracle, and nor do I believe he's considering teleporting.
TA trap hits on Death. He actually can't blink in. He can't get involved in this fight. 3-4-3. Just gets disintegrated by magic. The Master Wars are pretty damn good. The Curse Maker is space Death. No! He doesn't get the epicenter off. The Hex from Chu. Cancel at the last moment. Still, the TA is dead, so compLexity, they want to push forward. Looking towards Crystallize. Enrage is still available for him. He'll have to trigger it just to stop that heavy amount of damage and turn the attack in towards Miracle, who's now stunned up and controlled by Blizzy. That's why you don't copy him. The Finger of Death isn't enough damage. Miracle, no! He's able to actually jump back into himself. Having the 12 Bond charges, compLexity can just keep pushing forward, but they need to push Crystallize back. Blizzy, he's only got 1 more second left of this split, so now the control has gone a perfect Barrow Strike from Death, creating space away from the Clamp, but he's underneath the Observer and Sentry Wall, but the Blink up away from Blizzy. compLexity, they're getting the position game right perfect here, especially when the Ice Path connects onto the Brewmaster. The Chain Stuns, but Crystallize, he wants to find some more. Turns to be a 1-1 trade-off, but 3-4-3 will also join this fight, looking to bring down Crystallize. He's the big one. Misha is there to help. They can push him down. He's waiting. Misha went down. The Ice Path will connect once again, but more support's arriving. TA is ready to fight once more. Blink Dagger is up, and they go for Miracle. He'll find an invis room, but of course, that's just what's sitting there. And they will get away. compLexity really trying to stand toe-to-toe with Na'Vi, and it looks like they can do so when Miracle turns up like this.
They have to kill Magical first. Like, that is the key to this. You pick the Jakiro, it's not the greatest in lane, but you can see you melt through Refraction and you crush Magical. 343 unfortunately gets caught out just wandering through the river, and this might open up Roche for Na'Vi.
Ooh, is this possible? You don't have Brewmaster split for another 60 seconds. Curse, well, he doesn't have the mana. He's got the mana. He's coming out now. Burning Clarity so he can get there faster. Macropie is trying to cause some problems, but Crystallize. He's actually going to burn inside the Macropie, and he's got enough damage. Aegis Immortal, it gets into the hands of the Templar Assassin. Surprisingly, not the Ursa.
That was like the best fight I think Cole could have hoped for. And yes, Navi's getting Roche here, but it's inevitable. It's an Ursa, it's a TA. They need one kill on anybody, and as you can see, even with Macropie down, they just don't care. It dies in 10 seconds. Cole have to continue doing this. The timing for Na'Vi now is the BKB. You can see it's already queued up on Magical. He needs this item to survive in this game. And, oh, no death.
Observer and Sentry down. There's going to be another buff up. No, he doesn't have Finger of Death up and running at the moment. And that is Death going down quite simply. How many times as Na'Vi, like they're burning so much money on Sentry wards, but every single time it's on top of that SK.
Yep. I mean, it's worth, right?
Oh, yeah.
Especially when you consider how long these last now. Nice.
Especially considering he's the 3 position, but he's the 2nd highest net worth on compLexity.
And this is, I like the way Na'Vi supports are playing this. It's, again, similar to what Vici likes to do. They have one hard catch support and one for save and sort of combo break fight.
Blinks in. He's just going right after 343. This Undying. Oh, he is not living up to his name. Miracle wants to have his own fight. The curse is out. No one wants to get too close. Morphling won't take damage. Blizzy now into the split. Z-Freak wants to help out, but what can he really do? He's watching his core just get controlled and killed.
It's so simple, isn't it? You pop the split, you pop Wyvern ulti. Like, after you find the 1 kill on a support, you're always going to get the 2nd. You know, it's something we see typically with the Disruptor. It's like, oh, well, you're going to get that exit kill. Na'Vi, you just use all your spells. There's really nothing Cole can do in engagements unless they're able to immediately counter-initiate on top of Magical, who's now acquired an Aegis. So it's not as if that's really an option anymore to win fights. And this is the timing for Na'Vi we were waiting
Smoking.
for.
compLexity want to come out. Death's going to get a little too close to that Brewmaster. He's just on the edge of having his smoke broken, but he needs to be able to do this, so he's able to epicenter and get into this fight. He'll blink Burst Strike into the double stun, working with the Ice Path. Not the perfect layering, but it will work. The Hex of the Templar Assassin. Magical is going down quickly. Now he'll pop Refraction charges, waiting to the very last moment, trying to get away from this Undying Tombstone. He'll actually go down to the minions with the Ursa. No, Meld hiding, thinking knows where he is, but then the blink down, thinking sticks with him. One claw punch. That's the way to do it. Into the follow-up epicenter. This Aegis is taking a while. Magical trying to hide invis. Did anybody bring detection? Anybody? 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 You got enough AoE. You'll try and pull him out of it. Magical will bring him down. And that's 3 heroes from Na'Vi popping.
Who did Na'Vi actually initiate on?
PA.
Yeah.
I mean the other way around. Yeah.
Who'd they go for? Because you can never be in a position as your Ursa TA where you get double stunned by death. Like, excellent job to counter initiate. I'm here like losing hope, and they find an excellent team fight. And the key to this, look at this cold draft, right? You get a couple of kills, you capitalize on some mistakes, you have the Morphling and all this tower pressure. So this tier 2 isn't a bit of danger. Magical will be respawning soon, however. That's really nice if you're compLexity. Even though it's 20-8, kills don't matter too much anymore, Tobes. It's only a 3K lead, but
it's that beautiful swing mechanic. But I'm also seeing a lot of strength that can come in from Na'Vi. The BKB is in the build order now for all the TA. So you had that power spike, made it work to kill off 343 many times, but until she's got the BKB, she can't deal with the magical damage and compLexity. And that's where it feels like Na'Vi just go all out. BKBs on Ursa and TA, these stuns won't happen anymore. That magical damage won't happen anymore.
And the mistake they made there was without split, without Wyvern ulti, right? You don't want to be aggressive. And this Tombstone from 343 is what wins this fight. Because you watch Magical, the reason those zombies on the bottom of the screen, like, he isn't in this fight the entire time. He's just been running away. But because of the zombies, it's such a slow retreat that Death is able to blink out, follow him. So they get the 2 kills, and they got Ursa before his ults.
Yeah. Oh. But how do you actually deal with that? Yeah, don't worry. We're actually... No, see, we're on next level production. We have the audio from the replay and not just the audio from what's happening now.
It freaked me out. I was like, oh, wait, what happened? But it's looking all right for Cole, but again, that was a fight without 2 of Navi's big ultimates and before the BKBs. And the difficulty is going to be, how do you win an engagement when Na'Vi just has all of the tools available and just goes to fight. Oh, they didn't have, did they have Finger? I don't even think they did.
No,
So like you had no ultimates, no BKB. And those are the power spikes, like, I guess, for these heroes.
it wasn't meant to be that way for Na'Vi. Na'Vi were meant to be the ones who would jump in with these double blink daggers, find the initiation, get the instant pop, and then move on to another hero.
It just, when you're so far ahead, like 6-7K lead, you can just kill the tower, back away, control the map. You want to look for these big fights when you're in a position where you're going to win that engagement like 90+% of the time. You don't want to make low percentage plays with big leads. It's just about, you can even take a little loss here and there. It's like folding when you're the big stack and someone raises all in front of you. You know what I mean?
So I feel uncertain about this. I'm sorry, you know, I'm out. A push is my win.
That's blackjack.
That is. Hey, I'm just destroying all the terms. I'm not a gambler.
Neither am I. Gambling's dumb. Or
hey, I only gamble on was it the DPC points? I'll do it there.
Look up top, you got Z-Freak just hiding in the trees, going for the Glimmer Cape next. This is the hero to watch because Rasta is just my favorite support in Dota right now. You threaten so much CC. Currently, even though he's not maxed out the Hex, 2 seconds Hex, 5 seconds Shackle. So him plus Miracle, like you find a kill on pretty much anything of Na'Vi, specifically the supports.
Yeah.
You're gonna have BKBs up real soon. Tia's about to finish his.
So Na'Vi get their BKB. So Na'Vi gets immunity and complexity gets sustain. They've got the full Crimson Guard on death. They've just completed up the Guardian Greaves on limp. So between the two of them, they have what they were kind of looking for like 5-10 minutes ago, or what it looked like they were building towards. And then everything else is just for the glory of Miracle. And speaking of which, the clap, it wasn't in range. They didn't get enough damage to get the instant kill, so he'll just jump away. And Manta get out the curse on the backline. So while you have one escaping, 3-4-3 and Death are in pretty deep. Magical using the BKB to get rid of this Tombstone. They remember it, the blink climb. It's a perfect double catch on Death and Limb. They'll get the follow-up stun. This one's into Death. They've still got that detection available, and even the Ice Path of Limb cannot protect his 3 position. A TA trapped once again. How many of these must Magical connect on? The Macropie being put down. He'll try and fight in the fire and the flames underneath his own tier 2 tower. Crystallize just wants to keep diving. He's got the support from Blizzy. Ice Path down. Limp playing the trees perfectly. Crystallize now. He'll pop his BKB looking for his kill. But it was Magical able to find the hit. They just keep that chase going while Undying tries to keep the mid-wave at bay so they cannot just instantly push this.
So Na'Vi is going to have a huge lead in this game until through the duration of the second Aegis. I think by the time the third Roche spawns, maybe it equalizes a bit because Miracle will have that Scotty, maybe next item online, but this Morphling just needs more items because right now you're just unable to win fights. You can see the tomb goes down, now you just pop the BKBs, you kill it, and you're like, oh, well, we're chasing complexity. Brew gets the split off. It's just, there's nothing you can do as Cole other than try and save as many heroes as possible. And I think they need to look to split the map more. Like somebody just go feed in the off lane, but push the lane. You know what I mean? Preferably Z-Freak's Rasta.
You actually go for that? Like right now, it seems like Death's dying so many times, you could just leave him in the off lane and just... I suppose his Sandstorm isn't protecting him at all.
He's the Blink Dagger, so he could theoretically play there, but the idea is Death would like to be off map, not on map.
He is playing the off lane and he is going to die once again. They are always bringing these sentry wards. There's no dust. They're not even worried about that. Oh, okay.
It's just the wrong side of the map.
Sorry, Blizzy. I did not mean to jinx your fingers just then.
You want to, as Cole, play bottom because it's away from Roche and it's away from the top tower. Like, there's just no reason to play your own jungle because it's then easy and top lane because Na'Vi, they're always going to be looking to play your side. You're just making it easy for them to push you and stop your farm. Plus, you know there's going to be vision like this high ground.
3-4-3 is going to die again. This will be his 7th death of the game. They use the curse to light him up. Limp wants to try and battle this one out with the Ice Path and the Macropire. 3-4-3. No, come at a cost to Magical's life pool.
Yep.
It's Z-Freak. Well, you wanted him to die. He did on top lane.
It's because there's a ward. You're always going to be playing under vision when you're in your own jungle and you're this far behind in the game. So
with Macropire down, maybe they feel confident enough to well, actually, maybe not to push up high ground, but finish these last tier 2 towers in mid and top lane. But Morphling, he's pushing up bottom lane using the Manta Illusions just to keep that pressure on. So Na'Vi's always having to worry about their bottom lane and look behind.
And I hate to, I'm always a stickler for the team fight items, right? But the concern with Cole is that right now, because none of them went for those like acceleration items, you look at the net worth, on the Sand King and the Jakiro specifically. It's great to have Greaves and Crimson Guard, but you haven't found kills because of these items.
Yeah.
And you...
Oh, they're going to try and contest Roshan. The Observer Ward and Sentry is what's seeing all of this. They see the positioning, but Roshan's all practically dead already. And Rage hasn't even been popped. Roshan goes into the hands. Aegis, TA, Cheese, Ursa, and they jump in. Blink, Hex, looking for the initial target over on Morphling, but the epicenter, it comes flying through. Chu's in trouble, but the curse, it creates so much space in the backlines and Crystallize. He wants a good target, he's waiting for it, and then the Blink clamp into the split. You've already got the kill onto 3-4-3. The Mass Serpent Wars trap is pretty damn good for controlling up the Brewmaster. He's got to get this split off, but no, he will not get it off in time. Down for the count, no buyback available. The TA traps trying to allow them to move back, but Death blinking himself forward for the Burrow Strike. After this Winter Wyvern, I really thought that curse from Nisha would have got Na'Vi on top, but it just turns the opposite direction.
Dude, like, Cole goes 1 for 3. They still, it's 10k gold lead for Na'Vi. It's just continuing to go up, but yet somehow Cole are winning these engagements. Just superior team fighting. Death is finding a ton of great initiations, constantly getting the double stuns off, and you can see Magical, even with the BKB and Aegis, because he took so much damage, he's not able to commit to the fight. Na'Vi, they just have to be the ones initiating. Whoever has that first mover advantage will most likely win the engagement, although...
Wasn't it Na'Vi that did it? Like, you saw the jump in come from Chu. He jumped forward, he went for that initial Hex, and then it seemed like the rest of his team was like, we don't know exactly where compLexity are. Like, fighting under vision, getting these kills on Z-Freak seems to happen a lot, but maybe you start to question when you put down observers and sentries for the SK, do you still have enough to watch the map?
You want your cores to be the ones kind of finding the space is the concern, as 3 for 3 once again is going to be taken down. That was big for Cole because they did end up getting all 4 bounty runes. So sure, your Undying dies, but it just went from 10 to 7k. And realistically, how much gold? 97 gold lost from Adam, 320 gained by Na'Vi. So not the biggest deal to kill that 1800 net worth Undying bottom.
Yeah, they're coming again. Misha has Sentry Wards available, pops it down. Death able to Burrow Strike away pretty quickly. Z-Freak gonna lend that Glimmer Cape, but that's why they bring the second detection. The dust is up. They need this kill quickly to get the second buff up, but it won't happen. Death is surviving just that little bit longer, and that actually denies the extra plus 50 magical damage on Finger.
This is the thing. This is still Na'Vi's time, but they are the ones on more of a clock. TA Ursa are mid-game carries. Morphling we've seen for how long? How many years? You know, that win probability I think is about right, where 65% maybe favoring Na'Vi. If Cole get enough time, if this game gets to that 40, 45 plus minute mark, Morph's about to have a BKB. And to your point about line initiating, like that's the concern. You don't want your line to be exposed like that. Miracle will gun for him every single time because that's the only true control that's able to take him down. You need your Ursa and your TA to create chaos so that your supports can find those targets.
Yep.
You don't want to be leading with the squishy that's also your only real disable at the moment.
All the towers on the bottom lane are going to be taken out. There's an Observer Ward up for Na'Vi. compLexity definitely know of its existence, but they also understand just how many heroes are on that bottom lane. All the outer towers are gone, but it's not stopping them from smoking up. These are 4 heroes coming together. We'll point out, though, Miracle is not there. His TP is on cooldown, so this is a 4-man run forward, looking for some kind of opening.
Oh, they gotta be real careful. Don't walk up the high
The
ground.
Morphling still not there. This is gonna be 4v5, and they look for it. The Hex over on Brewmaster, but TA jumping forward. The damage in Limp is so heavy they have to pop the Crimson Gun. Z-Freak with the side blade damage almost gets Limp killed. They have to back up and shrine quickly. I'm not certain what complexity we're looking for when they don't have Miracle there.
The moment they saw that there was an enemy there, they're like, oh shit, we need to turn back around. It was like watching a cartoon. You know, you charge down the hallway.
The Wile E. Coyote. I realize this is not a tunnel. This is a painting on a rock wall.
Oh, goodness. It's just, yeah, pretty much exactly. There's still the Aegis on TA for 1 more minute. And I like, oh, hold up.
They're going again into bottom. They got the shackles up. Blizzy, can they find the kill in time? They won't. No, he can just go into the split. In fact, Spat is in the backlines, Crystallize, putting that Abyssal Blade to work, instantly killing up the Jakiro. They turn their attention towards Miracle, and Finger of Death goes to work with the extra buffer from Ether Lens. Chu just got it too easy, and now they turn their attention over towards Death. Train out mana, sure, why not? But keep the stuns going. 3 heroes lost for complexity, and a very long death time for 2.
And another reason Crimson Guard in this game is a bit questionable.
Oh.
You can see it's dispellable by this brew. We're going to see that happen again. As this game continues 3-4-3.
No way to survive. He's dead. 3 heroes without buyback available. Z-Freak, I know you're a great player, but I don't think you could defend this.
It's just, that's exactly it. The cores go in, they find Miracle, Lion's there for CC, a kill. You just, you know, Blizzy tanked the initiation, right? Like, you identify Cole's heroes. As soon as you have that vision advantage, Na'Vi, you get so much damage, you pounce. And it's just 2 super farm cores against 1. And that's going to be at least the 1 racks, probably 2.
It's 2. It's definitely 2. They won't be able to get the 3rd, so Na'Vi can just back up. Their Aegis Immortal did expire. They shifted the cheese to magical. So Templar Assassin has a little bit more life. Glimmer Cave from Z-Freak. He wants to get close enough to find somebody, but there is nobody. So he's going to drag the creep wave off the range barracks, try and at least keep these alive.
Magical had the Hex queued up for a while, but when he got the gold for it, he actually pivoted to the Daedalus, and I think that's a great decision. They had plenty of control. They needed damage. They needed the ability to do what they just did there. Initiate, find the kill.
It's the quick pop.
Yeah, and you're always going to be going Abyssal on Ursa at some point. You don't want both of your damage-dealing cores to be itemizing for more lockdown, because you might get to a point where Morph just survives everything, and now you're losing the engagement.
It's actually kind of funny, too, like when you see the item build coming in from the Morphling. Like, I think of quick pop not going from the Na'Vi side, but actually coming in from Miracle. Having E-Blade to stop Ursa from instantly attacking into every target he wants to, but he's gone for this BKB, Skadi, Manta, and now has Butterfly queued up as his next item. They look for an opportunity. It's onto the Winter Wyvern, try and protect him with that Lotus Orb from Blizzy. He's just the protection god. Winter Wyvern, he's burning so damn hard, can't get out of the macro pipe, but the curse! It's such a long range, 4 heroes trapped together. The SK can't really help out. There's enough stuns, Finger of Death goes, and that's Miracle down. 343 has joined him. Magical will stay on the back of Limp, so the 2 position, he will not be able to survive. They're just waiting for it. Maybe he can't. No, Blink over the top of the ice path. No way to get the controls done. Jumps over to death where he dies. Everyone's dead for complexity. And once again, these long death timers are there, and Na'Vi have only 1 player dead. They will push for the GG, and they actually just get it straight out. Complexity falling apart at the seams, but it looked like for a moment they were actually getting control of this game.
They were outplaying Na'Vi. They made the best of a poor situation. I think Na'Vi did a good job of just kind of, they relaxed, they composed themselves, they recognized what they were doing wrong, and then all of a sudden, they weren't necessarily looking to jump as much as they were just kind of brute force their way forwards with cores, and then the supports, you can see at the end there. It's so easy. A 4-man Wyvern ult into the 4-man Lion stun. Yeah. It only takes the 1. They got the 1 fight that gave them the 2 racks. The second one closes the game. It was a great draft and just well executed from the jump.
Yeah, and the cores from Na'Vi really playing so well. Crystallized 12-1-7, Magical at 16-2-8. It was just a day for them to go nuts. But the day's not over yet. Game 2 coming up in just a bit.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much, gents. Great commentary as ever from Toby and Kyle in game number 1. And gents, it was kind of inevitable, but it didn't get there quite as quickly as we maybe foresaw. Because in the first 10-15 minutes, you kind of went, well, everything that's going wrong for complexity looks exactly what we thought would go wrong for them. But they made a fist of it, at least.
They did, yeah. The Jakiro had kind of a weak lane. I think I kind of feel like I saw what Cole was trying to do. They were trying to basically push mid heavily. The Sand King was going to sit behind the enemy tower, basically create a lot of action, force opponents to like react in ways that are annoying. And then by doing that, they kill early mid tower, and then they transition this like mid game team fight thing. That's why they got back in the game. They had like a rough laning stage more or less, and then all of a sudden they just kind of were just winning team fights pretty handily. And that's one thing that Jakiro's kind of good at. You get a little bit of tanky, you've got a little bit of spell amp from your null talismans, and you have all these long range spells. If somebody gets out of position, you're there to land Ice Path and Macro Pyre and Dual Breath, and all of a sudden these heroes are just dead.
But that's also why he's a support, not a core.
Well, he gets more levels by being mid.
Sure, but
you're going to have Dual Breath maxed out earlier, and Ice
much
Path.
More after 6 anyway than he would have done as a support.
Jakiro's really good at level 15, basically. You know that. Sure. Like, when Ice Path is maxed out, you got a 2.5 second stun on a 9-second cooldown.
Okay, let me ask it a different way. If that was the aim, and I agree, I think that's how it looked, didn't it, when we were watching it in the green room? But if that was the way, why wasn't Z-Freak with him in the mid early on? Right from the get-go. What?
He's got shit to do somewhere else. Come on.
I mean, potentially, like with the way that Death was building it, right? He built into the Vanguard, which Kyle took great offense to.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, but
yes, he does.
If he was going to do that and stand behind the 2-1 tower as we saw it happen, then surely Z-Freak has the freedom to actually, you know, rotate through that mid lane.
He did go mid once though.
Yeah, he did, but it was kind of late though, wasn't it? It was like, whoa.
Limp was level 3. He was 1-0 and 3 skill build. They were not going to kill TA there.
Yeah,
this wasn't going to happen. And even Shaman is maybe not the best hero to gank mid with. I'd prefer something like an Earth Spear, something that does more damage that doesn't have to stand there channeling for 2.5 seconds, you know?
But it's not even the kill potential, right? It's just making sure that Jakiro doesn't die, so he doesn't fall that far behind. We saw, it was about, what, 8 minutes into the game, maybe? The net worth difference was more than double.
I mean, he was like 8th or 9th on the...
Yeah, he had 2,000 net worth.
He looked like a 4 or a 5 playing at that point. And then you sort of go, well, then why not play it as a 4 or a 5? Because that's what it's usually played as. So, yeah, a little bit odd. But, you know, again, I'll point out the fact that they made a fist of this. They did put up a decent fight. And as Kevin rightly said, they came back into the game. Do you feel like there was ever a time that they could have overturned the advantage that Na'Vi had? Or was it just a matter of time?
I mean, I said at the very start, if Miracle has a good game, compLexity are going to win. He did have a decent game, you know, up until probably about 5-10 minutes until the game ended. But then they just lost a couple of key team fights. Those 2 key cores on Na'Vi's side leapfrogged him easily in net worth, and then it was all she wrote. They didn't really have that late game presence to be able to assist him with, you know, continuing that advantage that he had. Yeah,
5-1 and 2 in the end from Miracle. I mean, it's okay, but it's not enough, is it?
Yeah.
If you're going to have a big game, you need more.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just hard when you are playing against 2 cores that are equally as farmed as you, though, for the entire game. Like, Limp did recover a little bit, but he's still behind net worth and Brewmaster at this point at the 29-minute mark. So there's always going to be both an Ursa and a TA doing tons of physical damage. There's always going to be 3 heroes on Cole that had weakish armor. Obviously, the Greaves and the Crimson Guard helps offset that a little bit, but at some point there's more disable on Na'Vi. They can do Brew ulti, they can do Winter's Curse, they can do Lion disables. It's like by the time they get super late game, eventually they're going to get outplayed. T is going to be easily able to cut through things like Greaves advantages, so it was just kind of a matter of time. This is like a lineup to close things out by 30 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely, and it just didn't happen,
From a draft point of view, obviously Na'Vi had the slight advantage. It wasn't a massive advantage, but they had a slight advantage. It wasn't perfect from them either for this game. Some of their team fights weren't the cleanest of team fights, and actually they lost a couple to compLexity. Maybe they probably shouldn't have lost as well. So it wasn't an easy or straightforward game for them to execute, but they brought it home. So job done.
Yeah, and really early on we saw them getting the better of those team fights, you know, getting the early picks off, but the net worth lead wasn't that big. You know, it was 10-1 at one point. It was only a 1 or 2k net worth lead. So it wasn't going too bad for compLexity in the farming stakes. They were just losing a lot of their heroes. A lot of the pressure wasn't really being applied, and, you know, potentially going that drums, that Blink Dagger on the Sand King could have opened things up a little bit more, allowed them to potentially hit those timings and finish the game around that 30-minute mark.
But maybe then they lose a lot more of those mid-game team fights when they do get
when they don't have Vanguard.
Because, I mean, Vanguard obviously individually is not like the most impactful item, but Crimson Guard is pretty useful. It's like 2 armor, a bunch of damage block against TA. The damage block against TA is actually pretty good. It's okay against Ursa. But like they just needed, like they were able to abuse Tombstone a lot to just make the fights messy. Their opponents had to worry about BKB timings. Once they had BKBs, Jakiro stops becoming an effective core, because then all of a sudden Ice Path doesn't work, Dual Breath doesn't work. They got some Dispels as well. That was where the game kind of turned around. So it was just probably just going to be a matter of time where Na'Vi had slightly tough team fights, and I imagine they just thought they were going to roll over their opponents because they were winning by so much. But all the kills that they did get in the laning stage required them to runaways, so it's kind of like the KD the kills to net worth difference is a little bit misleading for that reason. They didn't get to the last hit and get kills. It was like they have to pause, murder this guy 5 times in a row, then come back and get last
murder him inside of a sandstorm, you know, burn him while he's sitting in Viz with no detection around. And we talked about as well the ability for them to really start to come online, and it just didn't seem to happen, you know. And I don't know, like, did the Jakiro need to itemize slightly differently? What are your thoughts on that?
I think Greaves is super normal for a Jakiro core. You kind of become, like I said, you have all these low cooldown, long range abilities that can affect and disrupt team fights. Basically, you need to keep your hero alive because you're not very fast. People are going to go on you. Having survivability items helps, and then you just sit around and keep casting your abilities until you guys win the team fight. So I think he played it. I think he played it
as well as he could, didn't he? I mean,
maybe at 2 dual breath by 3 is my only major criticism. But other than that, I think play-wise he did a good job. Took mid tower, and he instantly shifted bottom and took that tower. It was pretty good.
All right, good stuff. Right, break time here in Mumbai. Thank you for joining us. I know it's early around the world, but hopefully we can bring you some great Dota. Very good first game, very intriguing as it was between compLexity and Na'Vi, but that one's in the history books, and Na'Vi have equaled things up in the all-time series 7-7. Who takes game number 2 is what we'll find out next.
He can't get in involved in this fight. 3-4-3. Just gets disintegrated by Magic. The master for the pretty damn good. The curse maker is face dead. No! He doesn't get the epicenter off the Hex from Chu. Cancels at the last moment. Still, he's just a protection god. Winter Wyvern. He's burning so damn hard. Can't get out the macro pipe with the curse. It's such a long range. 4 heroes trapped together. The SK can't really help out. There's enough stuns. Finger of Death goes.